Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here speaking to you ladies. It took me a while to recover from a lot of things, so I'm just happy to be back. And in today's video slash tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you about transition shades, bronzing shades, and contour shades. I know it can get a little bit confusing for ladies that are not in the makeup artistry field, so if you are interested in knowing more about what all these terms mean, please keep on watching. I am going to add on an eye makeup look for the next video, so this is going to be kind of a base of what you should be using when creating your looks in general. This will help your makeup looks look a lot more natural, a lot more wearable. You can even just do this on its own, but in my next tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to achieve an eye look with this base. So this is a really great way to start your makeup looks. And yeah guys, please keep on watching. I've gone right ahead and filled in my brows just because I don't want to focus on brows today. We can do that in another tutorial. Actually, I do have a tutorial on my channel about how I do my brows, so you can check that out. Anyway guys, so let's go into our eyes first. I usually like to do my eyes first. I know my hair's looking a little bit crazy. I recently changed up my hair color and it's a little bit on the red side because I was trying to be ambitious, but it did not lift. So ignore that. Okay, I've done my brows, so now I'm gonna go in with the next step, which would be my eyes. I like to do my eyes first, but if you know you're in a bit of a rush, then just do your face first and then leave your eyes for last. I'm just gonna go ahead and set my eyes because I have already applied a base. I actually tend to use, but sometimes if I'm really lazy, I'll literally, when I'm carving up my brows, just go in with my concealer and Bob's your uncle. And the only reason why it actually creased is because I hadn't set it. So I'm going in with my RCMA no color powder, guys. This is a must-have in my kits. I'd say for everyone really. It's a really finely milled powder. I know it can be really confusing for a lot of girls, especially if you're not a makeup artist, when you hear us using the words transition, contour, warmth, highlights, bronzer. You don't actually really know where to use these colors and shades and tones. So I am going to be showing you today how to achieve this look using this palette. And guess what? It's a drugstore brand. I got you. So this is a staple in my kit. It goes with me everywhere. I take it on holiday. I use it for clients. It literally goes with me everywhere. Let's go in with our first shade, which is a transition shade. And these are these two shades over here. I would say that a bronzer and a transition shade is pretty much the same thing. It's used to warm the face and it's used to create soft lines in your makeup. It's there for blending, it's there for warmth. Contour and transition are completely different. Your contour is something that's going to have like maybe a taupey gray undertone, and that's going to create a shadow to give that definition to your face. So we're going to go in with this bronzing warmth, aka transition shade. So this is the Inglot 6SS and it's a nice fluffy tapered brush like that. So I usually just go into both because I like to layer my colors and my products. So I'm just lightly like dabbing it in, and we're gonna go into the crease. And depending on how, what's the word, Melissa? Find it. Hooded. There we go. Got it. How hooded your eye is. You want to push this back by pulling the color up. So because I have a little bit more of a hooded eye, this is actually my secret to pushing my eye back, making it look like it's really big and has a lot of space to work with. As you can see, this is already allowed to push my eye back quite a bit, and that will also help when using other colors that you want to apply on your eyelid, or if you want to use liners. So this really opens up the space on your face. I think that eye is done. Now we can move on to the other eye. So I'm just going to speed that up real quick. What I also like to do is towards the inner corners of the eye, because I want to actually create a shape there, I always tend to push this into the top of my brow. So literally dispersing the color all the way up into the brow, and this gives again that illusion that you have a beautiful arch and a lot of space. So I think that looks pretty even to me. You can always again add on, like I did say. Actually, I need to prep my skin because I didn't do that. So I'm just going to quickly go in with a little bit of eye cream. And we want the eye area to be really nice and plump. This is the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair. So we're going to go ahead and go in with this Clinique Moisture Surge. Apparently it's a 72-hour auto-replenishing hydrator. I've never used it, so I'm actually going to put it to the test today. Smells really good, and I'm just taking like a pea-sized amount on the back of my hand and going into this. So again, I like to layer my products. I'm actually glad I'm doing this step now because it's winter and my skin isn't very moist. So I'm gonna keep the foundation quite hydrated by doing this step now. Obviously you want to start with your skin prep first before you do your eyes and everything, but because there's no product under my eyes, I've just gone ahead and put my... So this is the strobe cream. It's from MAC, my favorite tone. You'll see me using this a lot on my models and my brides and my matric dance girls. I use this on everyone. So I'm just again applying like a pea-sized amount, and I'm applying this with my hands. And then what we're gonna do now is a step again that you cannot miss. So this is my Aquaphor. It's quite a big bottle. This lasts me very long. Just applying this on my lips so that they don't dry out during this process. Last and final step before we go on to foundation is a primer, and I'm going to be using this Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This really shows up beautifully behind the makeup, especially in photos and stuff. I know it seems like I use a lot of skin products, but you must remember, if you don't layer these products under your skin will look dry. So you really have to take care of your skin even prior to doing makeup looks or going to events. If you are a little bit oily, then I'd suggest maybe going in with a different primer that is going to really keep you nice and matte on the center of the face. Okay guys, so now that is on, I am going to go in with the foundation. I'm actually going to be mixing a high-end foundation with a cost-effective brand, drugstore brand, and that is going to be this mixture right here. So this is my NARS Sheer Glow foundation, and this is in the shade Punjab. And then I'm going to go over that layer, just a very light layer, with the Fit Me Matte and Poreless, and this is in the shade 220. The reason why I'm doing this is again layering my product, and then also because this one's quite fair and now I've tanned the rest of my body, I'm gonna go over with a darker shade. And this one's got like a luminous finish, whereas that's got a matte finish. So I know it sounds a bit crazy, but it kind of blends in. I like to use a little brush actually to apply my foundation. And this is the Makeup Boutique. I feel like you can get into a lot more smaller areas, those little nook and crannies, and you can really buff the product out beautifully. This will give me coverage without it being too cakey. And we're gonna move on pretty quickly with this step so that I can get into the transition shades and the bronzing and contour and all of that. So we're gonna speed this step up and get through this quickly. Okay guys, now that our first layer is on, you can see that this is a little bit too fair for me. It's matching my face but not matching my body. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the Matte and Poreless. And I switched over to a little bit slightly bigger brush, also from Makeup Boutique. And I'm just going over very softly, very lightly. And as you can see, I'm buffing the product in. This isn't that much darker, but it is a little bit warmer. And then we'll go in with our transition shades and our contour just to warm everything and give definition. Okay guys, so now we have our two tones that I've layered on. It's actually, my skin is still showing through. I can still see a little bit of blemishes that you can obviously go in and conceal afterwards. Now I'm gonna go in and grab my beauty blender and just set this in beautifully. So now I am gonna go in with my contour shade. Now, for me, a contour shade needs to be something that has a gray undertone, a taupey undertone. So this is going to create definition and a shadow. Please, ladies, don't make a definite line. You can carve out your face a little bit if you want to give more of that like super snatched look. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with this Floor Mask stick, and this is in the shade number 3. Looks like that. This has got a beautiful gray undertone. So this is one of my favorite contour sticks, and it's nice and creamy and it moves beautifully. So I'm just gonna add a few little dots like this on my face. I'm gonna go in with my Petite Stippling 122. It's a Zoeva. So this is actually the only time I really like to use a stippling brush. You can also use a stippling brush to add foundation or moisturizers and things like that. So I'm just in circular motions pushing that product up. So all your contour shades need to be applied under the cheekbone. You can also go in around here if you feel it's necessary. You can always add on, so I'm going to add on a little bit more. So as you can see, it's not a definite line. It's been buffed in beautifully, and then we can go ahead and go in under here just to pull back that turkey neck a little bit. So if you have an issue with double chin, you can create a beautiful shadow underneath. I'm gonna go in with a little bit over here as well, pushing it into my hairline, so up. I'm blending up, not down. Just have a look at the difference. So this side is still very flat and not defined at all, whereas that side has already got a little bit of definition coming through. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to this side real quick. Okay, so now that we've applied the contour to the face, I'm going to contour my nose a little bit. So I like to take a little brush like this. This is actually a Sephora brush. It's a base shadow brush. I'm going to go ahead and start over here, pushing it into the brow so that it looks like everything is sort of connected and that it's not, doesn't seem unnatural. It's really handy to have a little mirror like this to look into and keep it a little bit down so that you can really get the shape and angle of your nose. So really getting those little points in. I love a mousy nose, so I just think it's so cute. I'm gonna go in with another brush that I used earlier that's got a little bit of foundation on, which is this one over here, and I'm lightly now going over that foundation, over that concealer, sorry, to minimize any harsh definite lines. Now I'm gonna go in with my concealer real quick. This one's actually almost finished. I need a new one. This is Becca Aqualuminous in beige. I like this because it's not drying. So I like to use this for my dark circles under my eyes, and it's quite a fine concealer. It's not very thick, so it doesn't cake on. Going in with another one of my favorite Makeup Boutique brushes. I have like 100 of these. They actually were nice enough to send me like a whole bunch of them because they know I love them so much. I'm just fluffing out that concealer. So this is, because it's got a warmer undertone, it's going to cancel out the darkness I have under my eyes. And also just remember that when you're using your concealer, try and pull it outwards towards the cheekbone, and then you can always go in and adjust where you see any harsh lines with another brush that maybe you used with your foundation. And now I'm gonna go in with my NARS Creamy Concealer. This little bad boy over here, one of my favorites. I use this as an eye base as well for my eyeshadows. So because I want a little bit more coverage over here, I'm just going in, snatching my nose by doing that. I don't want to go too far into this section of the eye because that will dry the eye out. So we want to keep it nice and close over here. By doing this, it's going to help push back the light, and also by adding that warm tone underneath the eye, it also assists this shade in cancelling that tone out. So I like to put a little bit on my chin as well, and a little bit here. This is all the areas that I like to bring light to on my face, because we don't want to look like we have one tone, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going in and softening this over here. If you have a bigger forehead or a bigger chin, don't accentuate it by doing this. So rather skip this step. If you know you have a bigger chin or a bigger forehead, don't do this step, rather just do under the eyes. So sometimes when I feel like it's a little bit too harsh, then I go back in with my foundation brush that I used earlier and soften it up. And again, just now doing the same thing under my eye, trying to keep this line just next to where we placed our contour, and that will help keep it snatched. Don't place the product here, just buff it out. Again, we don't want any dry eyes. So now I'm just going in with my beauty blender and softening all of this up. There is one of the products that I've had in my kit for a while because I actually attended an event and it kind of was just lying around. I've never used it because it's not my shade. It's actually a foundation, and I got this from an event at Inglot, and I've actually found that it's actually one of the most perfect transition shades that is like a cream base, but it's not really creamy, if I can put it. So it really stays in place, but it is not a powder. So it just, there's no shade or tone. Oh, it is R10, wait, whoa, RI01W, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna go in with the same brush that I used with my foundation. You can grab a clean one. We like to keep things versatile. So I'm just literally dabbing this in, and when you can see there's already some color on your brush, go ahead, and now this is where you're gonna apply any of your bronzers, your warm tones. That's all gonna go over here. And then what you're gonna do, and if you want to, you then apply your blush over. So this all acts as a backdrop for color that's going to be placed over the top. So you're kind of stopping where the contour starts, but making sure that there's no definite line between the contour and the transition shade. You can see what a contour does and what a transition does. We're going to speed this up and do the same on the other side. So I just want to show you guys the difference. There you have it. Speeding this up, we're going to go ahead and go over the other side. Okay, now once you have all your cream products on your face, you want to go ahead and set over this. So I'm going to go in with this big buffer brush right here. This is my Zoeva 101 Luxe Face Definer. So because this kind of looks like a salt shaker and you can see there's already a bit of product on the lid, I just take whatever's on the lid and it literally goes everywhere. So, and I'm just now going over my whole face with this powder. Okay, I'm gonna go under the eyes with it as well, and I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M501. I love to use this for under the eyes. I'm gonna bake a little bit under my eyes. This is also just gonna help seal in your concealer, and again bringing that light forward. So I'm taking a flat brush like this is from MAC 227 and just packing this under the eye. And again, just keeping powder really towards the center, this little triangle that I spoke to you about earlier. So if you want to skip contour altogether, you can, but then you won't have as much definition. So if you want to keep it all within this specific product and keep it really super easy and simple. But again, this is also a really beautiful palette, and it's also drugstore. This is from NYX, and this is the Highlight and Contour Pro palette. So you can actually, if you don't want to get two of these, like, you can actually just get this one, because there is warm tones in here as well as the cool tones. So I'm gonna go in with my MAC. It's actually a blush brush, but I use this for contouring because it's got a nice angle on it. I'm gonna go in with that gray undertone right there. This is a really pigmented palette, so you want to be very careful with it and lightly buff it in. Don't just go and dab it in, because you will not be able to blend this. So lightly building this product. You can see it's already transferring color really quickly, and now just buffing it out. I know the process looks hella crazy and I look crazy right now, but at the end we're gonna look so pretty. Now I'm gonna go over with my transition shade, which is this one over here that I spoke about earlier. Now I'm going in with a bit of a bigger brush, so something that's gonna disperse color beautifully but not like intensify it too much. And this is the Zoeva 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek. So I'm just going in basically with those two shades, my favorite shades in the palette, dust it off a little bit, and softly start going over where you applied those areas where you already created some warmth with the cream product, and try to eliminate that super like light space over there that comes from the concealer. So you want to push this up into your cheek a little bit higher. So I'm going to jump off camera real quick and finish up this look by adding some mascara and dusting off the powder. Also adding a little bit of highlight, but purely I just wanted to focus on what a transition shade was. So these little extras that I'm going to add in is got nothing to do with this topic. So I'm going to jump off, be right back. Okay ladies, I really hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial that explains the technical jargon that us makeup artists go on about in our tutorials and with our clients. I hope that I've given you a better understanding of transition shades and contour shades, as well as warm and cool tones. If you have any questions, just comment below in the comment box. And if you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you loved it even more, please subscribe to my channel and share with your friends and fam. Thank you guys. See you soon. Mwah. Blah blah blah. I don't even know what to say. What's the line? Let's try this again. This will help keep looks I'm gonna grab another. Hello. Wow, talking this long is killing me. So it creates a beautiful structure. Okay, now I'm gonna bake a little bit under my eyes. No, stop. Focus on me. Hello. Okay. Damn it. Boom, boom.